Gather on the TV set, folks. The Bruce Show is on the air. Juice Brews, get loose. You know that you got the juice, oh yeah. Loose, get loose. You know that you got the juice. Juice Brews is on the air. Juice Brews Show's on the air.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Bruce Show. We always like to get the Bruce Show started off with a good prayer. So, Lord, our Heavenly Father, we thank you for your many blessings. You're the greatest and the mightiest and the holiest in all the heavens and all the earths, anywhere else there ever might be, Lord. And we admire everything about you. We'd humbly strive to do your work here on earth, Lord. And Lord, we'd ask you to forgive our transgressions. We'd ask you for good health, Lord. We'd ask you to protect our soldiers, Lord. We'd ask you to spare the lives of the people from the tragedy and disaster and chaos all around the world, Lord. And we'd ask you, Lord, to show us the people of the earth our common understanding. And we'll ask for these things in the name of the Lord. Amen. Amen. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. That's a Randy Macho Man Savage thing there. Ooh, yeah. I'm telling you, I got my Randy Macho Man Savage beard out. You see that? I wanted to record this for posterity because this is about as long as I've ever gotten me beard before. And my hair is pretty long, too. This is all going to end pretty soon. As soon as it gets warm out. As soon as it gets a little bit warmer out. I thought we were there, you know? It was colder and bitter than anything, right? And then when the groundhog was supposed to say it was going to be spring, he said it was going to be winter again. Then it was nice for like a month. And now it's getting lousy out again. I don't know. Supposed to snow again, they say. Oh, no. So, I don't know. I might not have any music for you because I hurt my finger. I was doing a little work. And I stuck my finger in a saw. Just a pruning saw, but I just touched it and right on the knuckle. Oh, it hurts. Ow. Only way I could do anything. Remember, to do this one song, I didn't have to use my fingers. Ow, I can't do that either. You're just shit out of luck, man. You're just shit out of luck. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have started cursing yet. I should have saved that for the grand finale, eh? Got my NRA sign out. Yeah, they're picking on us again. Why you want to pick on us, man? How many times we got to come out and prove it to you, huh? How many times we got to come out and prove it to you? That was a good idea for the Democrats to start picking on us again, huh? Got me a list. Sorry about the musical thing. I'd promised to get up and play the harmonica for you, but I ain't even going to promise to do that because my house is a mess. I'd have to clean it up to turn the camera around. I can't even contemplate it. I feel like, things have gone for so long, I can't figure them out anymore. Things are getting bad, man. Bad. It's bad all around us, isn't it? What's going on out there? Got me some new glasses. I got the Vince Lombardi glasses so I can say that shit. What the hell is going on out there? Telling you. Getting old. I was looking at some. I came home, had bought something, started looking at it in the truck. Took my glasses off in order to look at it because I got nearsightedness and farsightedness now. You know what I'm saying? And I got the glasses so I can see good driving for the nearsightedness. But if I have the glasses on, I can't see the writing too good. So I took the glasses off and I heard them fall out. I got under the truck and looked for them. I'm down on my hands and knees looking for the glasses in the driveway, and I can't find them. I'm like, did I leave them at the bank when I took them off to write on the piece of paper? I better go check. And I went and checked, and then when I came back from checking, when I pulled into the driveway, I found them. I could see them before I pulled in. There they were, lying there. You know, legs up, dead. Absolutely dead, man. You know, glasses, they won't hold up to a car. They won't hold up to a truck rolling over them once. You know what I'm saying? Not modern glasses. Destroyed, I'm telling you. I called up the glasses place. The guy's like, oh, when's your prescription? It's like, I just got them, man. It's like 2 years ago and about 4 months, right? And 2.5 years ago or so. And the guy's like, oh, no, you need a new prescription. You got to come in and go through the whole thing again with a doctor. I'm like, what? What? Oh, yeah, you got to go through the whole thing. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So I'm like, well, New Hampshire's not quite as insane as Massachusetts. It's state law. I'm like, New Hampshire's not quite as insane as we are. Called up there. Nope, same thing. 2 years. 2 years. Telling you, I don't know where this stuff comes from. This is just massive corruption. This is just massive, government collusion with a private industry to make all the people pay. Really? If my glasses prescription is only good for 2 years, how come the state will let you go 10 years on your license without getting your eyes checked? Huh? Don't you think the state ought to stop letting people slide for 10 years if for some reason they need to check your eyes every 2 years to buy a pair of glasses? Huh? Telling you, I went online. I had to go online, much as I don't do that sort of thing. $39.com, I'm telling you. They actually cost like $73. That's all, though. $73, and they didn't care that my prescription was a couple months out of date. I'm telling you. These glasses places should be out of business for that sort of messing around. Yep. I'm going to fill this time up with something. I should tell you some jokes, eh? Can't play the guitar. Yep. So I don't know if you saw my last TV show or not. It was a little messed up. The show starts off and there's nobody sitting here, okay? I forgot to cut the thing, all right? I hope you don't think that was the way the show was meant to be. I don't know which is worse. If I should tell you that's the way I planned it, I did it that way on purpose to show you that I wasn't lying about, starting the clock when I started it or whatever. I'm telling you, I forgot the clock this time. I go through all of this stuff to get this, down to the right time, and then I can't even remember to do it when the time comes. At any rate, I go to the TV studio, to cut the show, and really all I gave up on doing any of this stuff. I know people go in there and they spend months trying to edit something. I'm like, I go in there, I chop the front off, I chop the back off. That's what I forgot to do. And then I knew. See, this time I knew. I went over the time and I had to chop it out of My Boat Baby. Come on down to my boat, baby. Telling you. And so and I had it all figured out. Did you see how I did that? It came out to the second. And even when I cut it, that was just luck too, that I happened to get it like on the beat almost. Pretty much on the beat, If you know what you're doing, you can make the lines appear for the sound, and then you can tell, right? Like that you're on this beat. You know what I'm saying? I ain't quite that good. I just got it by luck. You know what I'm saying? Just because that's how, when I subtracted the time that I needed to take out, that's just where it was. So, yeah. And the whole thing about it is, see, I would have redone it. But I had such an immense problem. Every time I go down there to do this, I have an immense problem. I'm telling you, all their equipment is, I don't know, passé. They've gotten computers either once or twice since I started going down there. They got cameras once. But even though they got computers just a few years ago, man, I mean, it seems like a few years to me. But those things don't really work right anymore. And they're just, it's very frustrating, because, like, I'm not that good at computer dealings, but, so I'm doing it and it doesn't work right. And then I'm like, can I get some help? And usually Nick Ring will help me. And I'm like, did I do something wrong? And he's like, no, you didn't really do anything wrong. It's just this computer doesn't want to cooperate, And I'm like, well, good. I'm glad it wasn't me. You know what I'm saying? But it still doesn't make it any easier. And when I had this issue, I'm telling you, you go there, you cut the thing, you edit, you wait. Mostly you're just waiting for it to compress. Mostly it takes like 3 or 4 hours for it to compress and render or whatever it's doing so that you have a finished product so you can burn DVDs or they have a file that they can put on the ACTV, Oh, the picture size? I'm not even going to get into it anymore, okay? After I told you pushed wide and not full, well then the next time, and now at least I know what it is. They took the ACTV production off of my DVD. So then you do get shrunk both top and bottom on the sides, and I guess that's when you push full, and I don't think it's quite right. If they take it off the timeline on the computer, then they give you the full size top to bottom and it's shrunk, and I'm squeezed. And if you push wide, this is it. I'm not going into that another time ever, okay? Someday somebody's got to figure this all out, and it'll just, like Nick Ring said, it'll just be done for you. It's sort of better now, but it's still messed up. You know what I'm saying? It's still messed up on my TV. If I watch like channel 8 or channel 14, they're chopped off on the sides. I'm like, it would be better for you to squeeze the whole picture in there like channel 12 does when they take it off the DVD. Last time, I'm telling you. Yeah. But I'm saying, like, when it takes that long for the computers to do their thing and to compress it, I'm not recutting that. I'm not going back in there for another day of sitting around watching the computer glitz up on me. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, you got to watch 25 seconds of me coming in. I told him, man, I'm glad I didn't pick my nose or something. You know what I'm saying? If they'd have caught me picking my nose, I would have had to do it over again. Or burping or belching or farting or something like that. Something I might be embarrassed about. You don't get no redos. I'm telling you, unless I'm completely embarrassed, you ain't getting no redos. Not for 25 seconds of missing Come On Down to My Boat, Baby. I'm telling you, I didn't do a very good job of that song. I think there was 25 seconds in the midst of it somewhere, though, that I actually was like on key and on beat and maybe. Yep. Spent about almost 8 years bitching about the individual mandate, seeking its repeal. And now it's repealed and it's dead and it's gone and it's and Trump and Tom Cotton and some of them other senators took care of that, and that's a good thing. And I'm saying it's still a celebration. I ain't getting over it in one show. I'm probably going to do this for about a year or two. I'm going to come on every time and say, we're still celebrating, baby. We're still celebrating. Don't ever try to punish us like that again. Don't ever try to freaking enslave us like that again with your mandates, okay? Don't even think about it. You created so much dissension in America. You're lucky we let you off the hook at all. At all. That's right. Yep. And the only other thing I wanted to go back to the last show and talk about a little bit was at the end I told you my story where, I was a hero. I was trying to save some guy. Well, I tried to help him, and I'll tell you, well, I should run the story back because most people don't watch my show every time, right? I was out in San Francisco, and I went out on some minor holiday, like St. Patty's Day or something, and I went to this little club over in North Beach, and which they had the blues that place, and the biker gang was there. They took the leader of the biker gang. He was in the bar. Most of them were outside the bar. They threw him out, and he hit the step, and his foot went out from under him, and he came crashing down on the back of his head, and he was knocked out and bleeding. And the only guy who tried to help him was the bouncer, and the biker gang started up with him. So I went over there to try to help the guy, and I wrapped his head up in my jacket, and you know, then they started messing with me, and just then they had called 911, and they all showed up. Ambulance, police department, paddy wagon. I think they even had the fire department there. And the ambulance guys took the guy from me, and they hooked him up, and they got him, you know, revived a little bit, and they were putting him in the ambulance. The guy comes over and he gives me my jacket back. He's like, you know, it's what I was saying. This is what I wanted to change, because the guy told me, he's like, you probably saved that guy. And then what I didn't tell you the last time was, what he did say was, he was like, kind of like in awe, and he goes, how did you know how to do that? How'd you know how to do that? And I was like, huh? Because I really didn't think it was that big a deal, man. I went to Boy Scouts. We were in Boy Scouts. Basically, you know, somebody got hurt, you wrap cloth around it. You know, that's what you do, you know. So I didn't really think it was that big a deal, but it was probably because he said that to me that made me remember it. You know what I'm saying? Made it stand out to me when I started talking about something, you know, or heard something on a commercial. And you know, because I've been harsh on the town guys. You know what I'm saying? I've been harsh on government workers in general, and saying that, you know, government workers don't have the same incentive as private workers. Private workers get paid for accomplishing jobs. Government workers get paid for showing up and being there. All right. But I will say, you know, that like that situation where the ambulance and the cops showed up, and like I say, the cops showed up with the paddy wagon, cleared the streets. They took all those people off to jail, and they had enough wherewithal to leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? So good, they're doing a good job. You know, so you know those parts of our society, they're pretty much essential. You know, we need those people. So we can't just say they're not you know, they're useless. They're not useless. All right, but they have a grand responsibility. To them that is given much, much is expected. And they got to be on top of their game, man. They got to be completely non-corrupt, and they got to be hard-working. If they have the opportunity to slack, they can't take it. They got to work as hard as they would anyways. You know what I'm saying? I came home one time last summer, right? I came home here. I knew it was bad because it was after 5 o'clock, and the town guys were down at the end of my street with a big hole dug in the ground, right? And they're still there. And I came home and there was no water, right? Something had happened. The water wasn't working. But to their credit, those town guys, Gussie and the boys, man, they stayed there until about 11 o'clock. My water didn't come on until like 10 o'clock at night, 10:30 at night. And I'm saying, you don't miss your water until you can't take a shower in a hot summer night, man. Hot summer day after you worked all day. I'm telling you. I've lost the electricity around here for 2 or 3 days at a time, and I'm telling you, water is worse. You can live without electricity for a few days. It's primitive, all right? But water is worse, man. I'm telling you. Yep, and it's true, you know. Like I say, you know, on all levels of government empowerment. You can see this happening around us, right? There's plenty of examples, right? Look at, you know, I said Joe Arpaio before, right? The guy, nothing's going to happen to him. No matter what he does, he can go out and do it. You know, they held him in contempt or something. Nothing happened to him. Nothing's ever going to happen. You know what I'm saying? We had a case here in Mass, a state trooper, some judge, his daughter got busted, DUI. She said embarrassing statements to the arresting officer. The judge told the boss of the state troopers, could you get this taken out of the report or whatever? And then the colonel of the state troopers told his underlings to rewrite their reports and take out the embarrassing stuff, and they sued him. They ratted him out. They went rat on him. And now the colonel of the state police, the boss of the state police resigned, his second in command. And then I heard 4 other, state police big shots are going to have to lose their jobs now. And I'm like, good Lord, man. I'm telling you. It's ridiculous. I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous. It's ridiculous that this is the way that it goes. But I'm telling you, it's also ridiculous that you people don't know that's the way that it goes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it goes that way. Yeah, the judge gets to freaking get his daughter out of jail. Yeah, there's whatever you want to call it, favoritism for those on the inside. The cops don't go around busting each other if you didn't know, all right? They don't go around busting each other's children in case you didn't know, all right? And when you see the examples of it come out and you're like, oh my God, that's, the ridiculous thing about this is that they fired the state police guys. They should have fired the rat that ratted them out and told them, hey, this is the way it is. This is the way it is. Oh, we're going to pretend it's not this way? Is that what we're going to do? We're going to go into pretending it's not this way. How many people out there have gotten a ticket fixed? I have. I was happy I got my ticket fixed. What's this cop going to do when he wants something fixed? And they're like, oh, no, you're the guy that got the colonel fired. Unbelievable. Like I say, I'm not saying it's good, but that's the way it is, So what are we going to do? This is just like the Democrats or the progressives. They live in a fantasy utopia of their own creation. It's not true, but they have to pretend to believe it. They have to pretend to believe it in order to have their freaking documents approved. Yep. I got on here. I got the Pats and the dogs. I got my Pats and my dogs on here. I was a double loser this year, but I'm not really a double loser. I'm really a double winner because my teams were there. My teams were there. And if, I'm glad Philadelphia won a championship. I'll tell you, I like Philadelphia. I like going there. I like the people down there. They're like people around here in some regards. You know what I'm saying? More Germans, maybe. And the dogs. Ooh, let the dogs out. Ooh. I'm telling you. I didn't get to see the game, but I'll bet the dogs got screwed, didn't they? I'll bet they gave the game on a silver platter to Alabama, didn't they? Huh? Did they? I don't know. Because I don't get to watch the freaking college football games. I don't get to watch the championship college football games because I don't pay for expensive cable. Because I can't afford it, or I don't prefer to afford it at least. All right? I'm telling you, Donald Trump, I backed you up. I backed you up with the NFL players, and I said that's true. They shouldn't be kneeling on the anthem. They don't even show you the national anthem anymore. Back in Rome, they said, we who are about to die salute you, because it was a spectacle. It was a spectacle to Roman power and Roman glory. And now what do we have in the NFL? We have no spectacle. If you're not going to play the national anthem and have the jets fly over, why are we playing football? Why are we playing football? Just to see grown men run into each other at full speed? Huh? That's stupid. You need the spectacle. With no spectacle, you cease to exist, NFL. You cease to exist, you morons. Yeah. I backed you up on that shit, Trump. And where are my football games on New Year's Day? Where are my college football games? That's my culture. That's my culture. That's my American culture, and it's been hijacked by corporations who are selling me my own culture back. That stuff better get back on regular broadcast TV real soon, or I say we pull the plug on them. We pull the plug on Comcast. Pull the plug on cable, totally. Everywhere. You can't show us a basket. Martin Luther King Day. Last day I did a show. There wasn't one special show on TV. Nothing. Not a commemoration of Dr. King. Not a freaking NBA basketball game. I guess if I want to watch that, I got to pay for TNT or TBS or some other cable broadcaster, ESPN, right? Well, I'm not going to do it. And I'm not going to pay you people for my own culture. That's mine. You can't have it. You can't have it. All right? You try to take it, we're going to call that stealing, and we're going to put you out of business. Put you straight out of business. We're trying to steal our culture. Forget about it. You should better stop. You better stop. Telling you. Yeah, Trump. Don Trump. I got Don Trump on here. You know, all these people, man. I mean, hey, how did you get them all to take 2 or 3 weeks off of calling up C-SPAN and saying that Trump is a Russian plant and a megalomaniac plant of Putin that's going to turn us over to the Soviet freaking dogs of war? How did you get them to stop calling in and saying Trump was a Nazi fascist, destroying America, turning us into a white supremacist nation? You know, how did you get them to stop calling in and saying that stuff for 2.5 weeks, you know? While they were simultaneously trying to tell us they had to take away all of our guns, right? We shouldn't be able to defend ourselves. There's no reason to. Oh, now, this morning I heard 2 guys calling in C-SPAN and they did go back to Trump is a Russian plant and a Nazi infiltrator, etc., etc. So I guess that must mean you've given up on gun control for this month, huh? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You know, hysterical pussy syndrome. I've told you before, I'll tell you again, the Democrats have it all. They got the argument of impotence on the one hand, and then on the other hand, they got the hysterical pussy syndrome. You know what I'm saying? We can't do anything. We can't do anything. That's the argument of impotence. Oh no, we can't harden the schools. That would be awful, to make the schools into like practically war zones where children feel afraid because walking in the door they face a metal detector. Oh no, we have to provide an atmosphere of love and fulfillment and enrichment. Yeah, that's what they should be. I don't like the fact of the schools being turned into an armed or protected zone. You know, I don't like it. It's not the way it was when I went to school. When I went to school, we had open campus. You could come and go as you pleased. As a junior, I stepped up to phase 5 mathematics. I was always good at math, but I always took it with my class. And then I took it phase 5. So my next thing was, call it, what was it? Elementary functions, I think they called it. And so in phase 5, that was a sophomore class, but I was a junior. So I was the only guy I was the only junior in this class. And I wasn't keeping up. I didn't do my homework. I never really, paid that much attention. And so Mr. Judson, he had to go, he liked to go get donuts during the double period. Somebody had to go get donuts. So I did it. Double period D session. That was Thursday morning. Yeah. I left class, the first part of class, walked uptown, bought a couple dozen donuts, came back. I'd get there for the second D period, the second half of the class, and I would pass. I would pass. That was the end of my going to math class, though. I was like, nah, I didn't keep up with this one. The next one's going to be worse. Yeah, Trump, Don Trump. These people don't understand Trump, right? You just got to have a little bit of experience with the boys. You know what I'm saying? You know the boys? You know, the boys. Yeah. Like Richard Pryor. Oh, this fucking guy. Hey, you fucking guy, hey. Look at this fucking guy. You fucking guy. Yeah. You see him in Massachusetts? They all went hysterical. Jeff Sessions said, no, we're not giving up the marijuana. We're not giving up the marijuana moratorium here. You still have a federal injunction against marijuana distribution and propagation and, you know. And they're all like, oh no, they're so mean. Trump and his men are so mean. They're going to destroy our business, our new business, and et cetera, et cetera. They don't, no clue, right? No clue. They're just doing out of strict venomousness, It's like, dude, it's so obvious. Look, the federal government has a complete monopoly. They've got a monopoly on the drug laws, on the drug business, essentially, okay? Because of the law, they have the right to control and restrict the trade, all right? If you want to do business in Pauly's turf, you got to pay Pauly. You see, good fellas? You got to pay Pauly. This is Pauly's turf. You want to do business in Pauly's turf, you got to pay Pauly. It's as simple as that. The state of Massachusetts, right now, you can tell them I told you so. They should section out about 3% for the federal government without being asked, without being told. Right up front, offer to pay them. That's the best bet. That's the best bet for you, I'm telling you. And then you'll see. You won't have a problem. You won't have a problem because you showed respect to Pauly. It's all about respect. Yeah. Yeah, Don Trump. The tariffs, same thing. Same thing. He finally hit you with the tariffs, and you can see they're all apoplectic, aren't they? All gone and lost their tiny minds, haven't they? You can tell, you can tell. The Democrats, the progressives, they claim that they support the working man. No, they don't. No, they don't. They support their progressive masters. All right, their elitist progressive masters in Europe, wherever they may be. Preaching corporate communism, preaching the elite should have their hands right in everybody's pocket, taking the money out and deciding how to spend it best for themselves and the rest of the world. That's what they want, right? With the tariffs, this was coming. This has been coming for a long, long time. I don't understand why you don't get this. All right, this is a carrot and the stick. They gave the corporations an incentive to do business here in America. They gave the corporations a tax break. You keep your business here, keep your manufacturing here, keep your profits here, and we'll charge you a fair amount in tax, not a complete crippler in tax, all right? Adding to the price of every business that you perform, every service that you perform when you taxed it 35%. Right? So they gave them the carrot with a little incentive to keep your business here. Well, now they're hitting them with the stick, and the stick was coming. It's always been coming. All right? This is what we need. The United States, I don't know why these people, they say that whomever is going to retaliate. They're not going to retaliate on us. You know why? Because we export very little that isn't a raw material. We're in a colonial relationship with our freaking trading partners. We send them raw materials and they send us finished product. This is the road to complete freaking impoverishment. All right, this is how to be treated like a Latin American banana republic. That's exactly what a banana republic is. You send freaking raw materials back to the colonial master and then they send you some finished product and you pay 10 times as much for the same goods as a finished product as you do for the raw materials. That's where the profit is. And everybody wants to make that profit on us, and especially Canada. You live right next to Canada. All you got to do is hang around by the railroad tracks in Amherst for a little while to watch the foreign trade situation unfold right in front of you. You can watch a completely empty railroad train go all the way back to Canada pulling cars so that they can fill them. You can watch a train coming back from Canada southbound. You can watch that train carrying 100 cars long, carrying plywood and studs, coal cars, oil cars. One time I saw an oil train. It had to be 100 cars long, brand new oil cars, every single one of them. I was surprised they could roll that train down the track in Amherst. I was surprised that old track would hold that thing up over that bridge in Southeast. I was afraid to go under it. I stopped and let the train go by. People were passing me, going around me, going, what's the matter with that guy? I'm like, I don't trust that damn bridge. I don't trust the bridge. Yeah, I know it hasn't fallen down for 100 years, but still, that looks dangerous. I'm telling you, our trading partners, we're in a dependent situation. You know, we're in a dependent situation. Latin American politics, if you study that, that's the argument apparently. You know, is it diffusion? Diffusion basically means trickle down. You're in a relationship with the United States of America, doing trading with them back and forth and doing, you know, and the America is a trading partner. As I say, we're usually expecting to gain the boon from that. We bring in their tin from Colombia. We make it into something and then we send it back, you know, a coffee grinder or something, you know, and they pay for their own tin, but it's made into something. The profits on the creation, the production. That's like a colonial relationship. And now we're on the other end of it. We're exporting our food to other countries. Believe me, they're not going to tariff our food. You think they're going to tariff our food so that they can't eat? Huh? No, they're not. They're not going to tariff any of the things we send them, basically. They already tariff Harley-Davidson motorcycles and Levi's jackets, don't they? Yeah, they do. They already tariff our cars going over to Japan or China or any place else, don't they? Yeah, they do. We're not going to lose anything by jacking some tariffs around here. And yeah, Mexico is going to pay for the wall. Mexico is going to pay for the wall. That's right. You know, these people, I don't know what happened to intellectuality. You know what I'm saying? These people calling in all the time, C-SPAN, they're like, Trump is a liar. They just say it bold-faced, straight out, all the time. I'm like, well, usually if you say something like that, then you say, you give an example. Like when he lied about. Finally, I heard a guy that did say it. And he said, what did he lie about? He lied that Mexico was going to pay for the wall. And now he's asking Congress for the money. Yeah? Wait till the other shoe falls, baby. Wait till the other shoe falls. The other shoe is tariffs, and they're falling right now. And you're going to find out. Mexico is going to pay for that wall over and over again. You don't think we're going to get back $150 billion in tariffs? I think we are. I think we are. And that's what we need to create jobs here in America. We shouldn't be, you know, the Democrats, the progressives, their economic policy is global enslavement of the working man. Globalism is enslavement of the working class. They've always had it. The rich have always had an enslavement plan. First, it was chattel slavery, straight up slavery. Then you had the colonial relationship between England, Spain, any number of European powers and their colonies in the New World, in Africa, in Asia, all over the place, India, for God's sake. The colonial relationship, and now we have globalism. Unfettered free trade between places that pay people 20 cents an hour and places that you have to make $15 an hour just to survive. All right? It's coming to an end. Coming to an end. You can't figure it out. We figured it out for you. We're not going to have the whole world enslaved to the global masters anymore. It is communism. Globalism is communism, and it's communism of the most corrupt kind by the most vicious, greedy people in the earth, the corporate masters, the corporate slave masters. And I'm telling you, the Democrats are right in there with them, thicker than thieves. The Republican establishment right in there with them, and you watch them all come out and scream how horrible it is to charge tariffs, how it's going to be horrible for the underclass, for the lower class, they'll pay more for their produce, etc. Yeah? Stop, I'm telling you. We know what you want. You want unfettered access to cheap labor, just like unfettered immigration provides them with cheap labor, right? That they always keep the competition between the minorities at the low end of the pay scale, fighting with each other, including the poor whites, fighting with each other for the people. Nancy Pelosi says, crumbs? That's what you're offering, Nancy. Crumbs. Things that fall off of your table for the people at the low end. You know? And you continue to do it. People have figured you out. It's not going to work anymore. Back to guns, man. I saw Mark Shields on the freaking news hour. I turned it on just to see if they had anything intelligent to say, and they don't. They don't. Only David Brooks said, well, as soon as you take on the NRA, you're basically politicized it and you're not going to get anything done. He's right about that. What do you think? You think the assault weapons are going to be banned? Assault rifles type weapons are going to be banned? No, they're not. They're not. All right, so if you concede that they're not, if you finally figure that out, that they're not, then what are you going to do with all your hysteria? What was all the hysteria for? Huh? Why don't you come out like rational people once in a while, not on the eve of some big tragedy, and say, are there any things that we could do, that we could get together on, that would make sense, that would have a positive effect going forward? Wayne LaPierre, at the CPAC conference, they should show his speech. He plays apart from his speech. He gave it 3 years ago or something, and he shows all the pictures of these heinous madmen, killers, right? And he goes, what do they all have in common? They achieved their guns legally because they were not listed, on the do not purchase list, because things were never reported. Things that should have been reported were never reported. Wayne LaPierre is good with making people that are mental defectives not able to get guns. He's good with that. But the freaking Democrats aren't. Okay, that's your problem. That's your problem, and it's not going to change, okay? Till you can get the Democrats to say, no, people that are being given psychotherapeutic drugs, etc., should be, taken off, being able to get a gun till they can be certified. But anyways, Mark Shields there of that poor show, he says the NRA is a vile organization, he says. He got to be on the Bruce show because of it. He says they're not a constitutional rights organization. They're a vile, NRA is a vile organization. I'm telling you, as if we pulled the trigger. As if the NRA had something to do with creating that little, piece of dog shit down there in Florida. You know what I'm saying? It was as if we had something to do with it. No. This is a complete dropping of the ball by the freaking law enforcement. Again. Oh, I'm not supposed to freaking criticize the FBI. Hey, Adam Schiff, that would be treasonous of me. I guess I'm about to get treasonous. You know what I'm saying? I guess I'm about to get treasonous then, Adam. You better have him come and get me. You know what I'm saying? I got to stop doing a Bruce show. What if the Democrats ever get in power again? Then you can't say what you want anymore. Do you ever hear the Republicans trying to restrict free speech? No. But you hear the Democrats salivating about it all the time, don't you? Yeah. You're not supposed to criticize the FBI? Astonishing. Back in the 1960s, I was around, man. Power to the people. Up the man. Up the establishment. Now they're like, power to the FBI. Never criticize the organization. Never criticize the man. Unbelievable. How did things turn 180 degrees around, huh? How did liberals become professed card-carrying members of the government freaking allegiance society? Huh? How did they go from protesting a freaking aberrant government to being its stooges, its little stoolies? What is your problem? You can't look in the mirror and say, you know what? We are 180 degrees divorced from that which we call our freaking mentors. Oh, it's hopeless, man. You're hopeless. Pitiful. But I'll just say, like to old Mark Shields there, you insult the NRA at your peril, baby. You insult the NRA at your peril. The little kids down in Florida, they probably don't know any better. You know what I'm saying? They probably don't know any better, but you'd think the Democrats would. Didn't you just see the last election? Didn't I tell you after Trump got elected? That was us. That was us. And now you want to kick sand in our face again, huh? All right. Plenty of Democratic senators coming up for re-election. Plenty of them. Let's take some votes and find out where they'll stand. Because the NRA is not a partisan organization. We are not a Democrat or Republican organization. You support us, we support you. We're like the boys. You respect us, we'll respect you. But you don't respect us, you're going down, baby. Down. Down goes Pelosi. Yeah. So, I think I got to most of the stuff on my list. Let me just say one more thing about that Florida situation. You know, the poor little kids in Florida came running, screaming. There must be a whole town of little John Kerrys down there, eh? You know what the problem in this situation is? Rich kids mentality, isn't it? It's just, you know, instead of going to the Democrat tenet there of take away guns from people, we're too incapable of handling guns. All of us are crazy. We got to take guns away from everybody, right? Instead of going to that tenet of their philosophy, they should have gone to the tenet that says everything is racism, all right? Because this little town's got to be the biggest enclave of white privilege and white exclusivity we can imagine, right? That's the only reason the cops go over to your house 40 freaking times and never do anything, okay? Because they're afraid to do anything. Because you're a little rich, snotty kid, and if they do anything to rich, snotty kids, they end up losing their jobs sometimes. That's what happens. All right? They don't come around to this neighborhood 40 times without taking someone off to jail, I could tell you. I don't expect them to come to this house 40 times and not take my ass off to jail. You know what I'm saying? So while these kids were probably badgering this kid around in school all of his days, at the same time, when he went nuts, nothing ever happened. Nothing ever happened. Part of it's because there's no discipline. Part of it's because it's not even acceptable to discipline a kid or anybody, I guess. I don't know. I got lost on time here. I'm going to wrap things up pretty quick here, but let me just tell you this. I told you about my friend Benny. Benny! Yeah, back in the day. Let me tell you this one. One day we were going up to Florence Heights. It was in the daytime, like after school, 4 o'clock or something. Just as we're about to turn into the driveway Florence Heights, coming from the Florence side there, and a bunch of kids rears up behind the snowbank and pelts the Nova. Pummels the Nova with snowballs. I'm like, and Benny's like, pull over, pull over. And I'm like, oh man, they're going to run. He's like, pull over. I pull over. And he's like, no, they're not. And Benny gets out of the car real slow. They started to run. Benny was like, hold it. They held it. He walks over there real slow. They're behind the snowbank. Benny's on the side of the street in a curb. And he's like, I can see him in the rearview mirror. He's dressing them down. He's like, body, blah, body, blah. And then he gets done dressing them down, and I can see they take their hats off, right? And Benny goes down the line. 3 kids, noogied them. Boom, 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 right on the top of the head, each one. Boom, boom, boom. I look in the rearview mirror, 3 little kids holding the top of their head like this, going, ooh. And Benny walked back to the car real slow. And I'm like, what'd you say to those kids? He said, I told him, man, you got to represent this neighborhood. You don't want to go out there and tell these people, show the people that live around here that you're a bunch of bums. You want to get out in the morning and represent your community. Show them that you stand for something. I was like, yeah, Benny. And as we were there, a lady drives by in her Buick and rolls that window down. And she's like, you tell those little sons of bitches. Yeah. And you just can't handle it, right? That would be like, oh, child abuse or something. No, spare the rod. Spoil this child. Spoil this child. Somewhat. Anyways, think I might have used up all the time. Hopefully my finger will get better, or, you know, my guitar playing will get better or something, man. You know, spring is coming. Spring is coming, so we can look forward to that. Thanks for being with me. We'll get back to it again real soon. All right, ciao, Bella. And, I forgot the charter there. Huh, I gave all my goodbyes. The charter, I ain't voting for it. All right, I'm not voting for it. I just say this about it, man. You know, it is such a damn shame that, you know, once in a decade, once in a generation opportunity to, try to make some input for the town of Amherst and create a better, more fair way for us to govern ourselves here in Amherst if we're going to be a democracy or pretend we are or whatever. And this is what they came up with, a really just juvenile attempt to amass power and have their way in town politics and get everything that they want. And that's really pitiful. It really is. And because of that, I'm voting no. It's not that I like town meeting. It's not that I think town meeting is representative or fair. Town meeting's been terrible. It's allowed Amherst taxes to go through the roof, and there's no stopping that. And the people that are in the Amherst for All, that's such a joke. They're like the most elitist, most exclusivist people here in town. They want to build everything up uptown so that they have more money to spend on their town government and more money to play social engineering projects with. And, they're just useless, really. And the bad thing about it is it doesn't matter to them. In 2 or 3 or 10 or 20 years, or when they get done being a big shot at the university or Amherst College, or their husband is, or whatever, when they get done with it, they'll just leave. Okay, they'll just leave, and whatever's left in their wake, that'll be what is left in their wake. I don't understand the incentive. I don't understand why you come to a town and garble up the politics like this to try to create something that's just heinous, stupid. Every 2 years, everybody gets reelected. Almost immediately the town manager is going to go, well, I have to have at least a 4-year contract so I'm protected from every freaking election cycle. And you couldn't blame them. The whole thing is just ridiculous. And like I say, childish. Absolute childishness that this is the best they could come up with. Pitiful. Really disgusting. Anyway, thanks for being with me. We'll get back to it again sometime, and we'll get to it again real soon. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you lucky people. I'm telling you, with no clocks involved, I came out like 7 minutes short on the Bruce Show, so now we get to turn the radio on, all right? We get to turn the radio on tonight. Let's listen to some Bruce songs. I want to thank the band. I want to thank the guys that helped me make this song. That'd be Terry the T-Bone Funk. Terry the T-Bone Funk. You're playing Flood. He's on the guitars. And Scotty the Hitman Hall playing bass. And Kevin Kev Wiener, the man, playing the drums. Alright? So this is the Bruce Band. We got Daryl Stingley. We made Daryl Stingley. This is for the Pats. This is for the boys. I always like to send out to the boys, man. I don't know how this is going to come out. Audio levels, all of that stuff. I hope everything comes out all right. You heard this before. Now Stingley going around us like a dev. There is one more time, man, taking more time from lady. Come on down. I'm gonna try to love yourself, at least I drink your whiskey clear. And Daryl Stingley, he's a man that shows no love. I'm gonna take it till you come back. And there's and let it all let it on us outbound in the morning rain. And rockin' like a never sane, yeah. Headed on a southbound like there ain't nothing more. And Daryl Stingley, hey, do. yes, hey. And they wanna shine, well, let them just shine and go bright. Carl Stanley, going fast. Come on, shake it. Come and get you all. He the man that show no fear. Come and get you. Oh yeah. Cause they run and hit and all this thing, tell them what's the name. Hold on tight like I'm all the same. And said, no, baby. That's the way that old song goes, and I have to keep it running like a mohawk. Got about one more chance, and if it keeps on breaking, I'm gonna take it off. Smoke it all the time until the smoke's I think I'm talking about the man Hoochie Jenny the Pot, you know this. Now, baby. I'm gonna get Charlie until I That's the way that old song goes, and I like to keep it rocking like I'm Ohio, yeah. Come and get your love, baby. Wanna keep it rocking for the birds and bees, please.
Gather around the TV set, folks. The Bruce Show is on the air. Juice Brew,